We have a major injury update around Lonzo Ball. We're going to be talking about when we should expect Lonzo Ball back and how this is going to impact the Chicago Bulls moving forward this season. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so in today's video, we're going to be looking at the most recent news around Lonzo Ball and his injury update, as it looks like that we have some good news and we have some bad news. And so we're going to be talking about that and what this means for this team moving forward. And so before we go ahead and jump into it, I first wanted to remind you that 73.4% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and you slam dunk on that subscribe button, as it means a lot to us here at Bulls Digest as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the content for today. And so you can find this article on Yahoo. You can also find this on the Chicago Tribune. This is written by Julia Poe and just talking about what is going on with Lonzo Ball. And so for those who do not know, Lonzo did get injured earlier this year. He went through a wrist injury and it cost him some time. It could have turned into a grade 3 sprain of the wrist, I believe, which meant he would have had to go through surgery. And so he avoided that. And it looks like that he did at some point re-aggravate that, and that is why he has been out. And so this article talks about that, look, Lonzo did get in 5-on-5 scrimmages, or a 5-on-5 scrimmage at least, and so that is a good sign. He's back to some basketball activities, and he did get a chance to play some 5-on-5. Talks about the fact that it is at least going to be another week before he maybe comes and we get a timeline from that, because it looks like that they're trying to get his conditioning together, so understandable in that situation as far as ramping him up. But, you know, that's good. But then there is the bad news out of this. And so this is in this article. Once again, you could check it out. But it talks about the fact that Lonzo is not going to be pain-free, which means that he is going to be dealing with some discomfort for the rest of the season. And it looks like that he is going to need some more extensive recovery, as you can see, into the offseason. So hopefully not a surgery. All it says is extensive recovery is going to be needed and that he will be dealing with some pain now. Now, here's another thing too, talking about that scrimmage and just talking that, look, it looks like that he's going to have to, or he's going to continue to play through the discomfort, but you could see that it's definitely affecting him as far as shooting the basketball. I guess during this scrimmage, seeing that he had a shallow arc and he missed off the front of the rim. And so not only is he trying to get his timing, his rhythm, and his condition back, but maybe that wrist is going to be something that is going to impact Lonzo moving forward as far as shooting the basketball this for the rest of the season. And so when we look at the impact with Lonzo and just talking about him and what he means to the Chicago Bulls, look, he is an anchor, okay? And he's an anchor on both sides of the floor for the Chicago Bulls. He's an anchor on the offensive end. He's an anchor on the defensive end. He's a stabilizer for this team, because when you look at the stats, and if you're on the outside looking in, you would say, okay, 7.6 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists. Okay, the Bulls can simply replace that. Not necessarily. With what Lonzo Ball does on the court, it's just, I'm not sure that you can necessarily replace that. I mean, it's been great that this team has really stepped up, but when you're talking about being an anchor on the offensive end, let's start there. His ability to put the basketball inside when you have a mismatch, I think that is something that if you watch this team, you listen to Stacey King, he has said it several times. Look, if it's Vooch or whoever else is inside and they have a mismatch, Lonzo Ball is going to be that player that will find you. And so if you have a moving shooting cone behind you, which is an undersized player, then Lonzo Ball is going to find a way to get it to you. And then also too, if you are cutting off of the basketball and if you are in a position to score it with his basketball IQ, you can trust that Lonzo Ball is going to get it to you. And he's just been a settling, calming effect for the offense, much like Trey Jones, right? If there is just chaos going on, you can trust that Lonzo is going to get you into the correct set and make sure that the spacing is good. And so that is point number one as far as him being an offensive anchor. Next, when you look at his defensive, just ability and why he's an anchor there, it seems like that there is maybe 5 Lonzo Balls on the court when he's playing out there, because defensively, he's getting block shots. He is recovering and he's getting back for deflections. He's also a player that even if he gets beat with his activity, his hands, he is getting steals as well. And finally, another point that I wanted to drive home too, as far as being an offensive anchor, and forgot to mention this, but he has the ability to run the fast break unlike any of our other guards. And so not to take anything away from Josh Giddey or Kobe White or Trey Jones or really anybody else that is playing guard for us, but with his ability to take the ball off of the backboard, so meaning get a rebound, not put it on the ground, and literally throw it ahead for an easy basket, that is something that makes Lonzo Ball extremely special. His ability to start a fast break and never have to put the basketball down, that is what really catches teams off guard, and he's always putting those passes on point. Now, when you look at this wrist injury and the impact here, look, this is where it's concerning, because when you're talking about dribbling the basketball, he's going to be dealing with uncomfortable situations there, right? So that's probably obviously going to hurt. Next, when you talk about the defense, he's going to have to get through the trash, so to speak. So that what that means is like he's going to have to use that hand to kind of get over screens, guide players and things like that. And so you know that there's going to be some discomfort there. And as mentioned in the article, clearly when he shoots the basketball, that is going to be tough for him. And so I wonder just what are we going to get back when Lonzo does return, because we know his basketball IQ is great, but just what type of pain level he is going to be in, that is really going to be the question. Nobody knows that other than Lonzo Ball. But we do know that he was optimistic about this, and so that is a good thing that Lonzo does feel that he's like, all right, I can do something for the Bulls, because he's like, look, I'm happy to be back out there, talking about that he wants to get more comfortable with this situation and try to get into some kind of rhythm. So that's a good thing to see. But he's also just very aware with the fact that he doesn't want to come back too early. And so that is a good thing that Lonzo is kind of looking at this thing for the long term, but he does want to get back, obviously. And it's all about just being comfortable here for Lonzo Ball. And so, I think that when you look at the adjustments that the Chicago Bulls are going to have to make, I think that this is where Billy Donovan is going to have to get, I think, a bit more into his coaching bag, so to speak. And I think that when you're talking about getting into your coaching bag, I think that Billy Donovan is going to have to utilize a guy like Dalen Terry. He's going to have to utilize Julian Phillips. And thankfully, look, Dalen Terry has been special as of late for us, especially during this road trip. He is shooting with a ton of confidence from downtown. He is playing with a lot of juice on the defensive end, which is swagger, and you love that. And so I hope that Billy Donovan is now going to go more towards him and Julian Phillips. And I just think that you're going to have to do that even if Lonzo does return, because he may not necessarily be the same type of player that he was before he went out, even though I do think he's still going to be positive as far as an impact for us, but I just don't know what the level of discomfort is for Lonzo Ball. So anyway, let me know in the comments, kind of what you're thinking here. Do you think that this is something that the Chicago Bulls certainly will be able to overcome, especially if Lonzo does come back and he's maybe who knows what his percentage is? I'm throwing it out. What if he's 70, 80%? Do you think that that's something that is going to help this team as they continue on? Because right now, the Bulls, as it stands, they're 32-40. They're 9th in the Eastern Conference. We're chasing after the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks. I think that they can be had as far as being caught, but I think that the bottom would have to fall out as well. And we're certainly not going to catch the Pistons, because I think that the Pistons are right there in that 6th spot. I don't think that they're coming back to us. But, that's just something to just really ask. And let me know in the comments here what you're thinking about this most recent injury update around Lonzo Ball. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. And as we always say, go Bulls. And I will see you on the next one. All right, peace.